Welcome back to the channel. You are now watching Mrs. Lilac's Crypto Podcast. Today, we will be discussing towards trading losses and potential business closure. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me. I can see you guys already. So thank you for joining me. I'm not gonna wait any longer for people to join in. So I can see some more people still streaming in. Just want to say hello to everyone from around the world. We have a lot of people here from all the different continents. I'm just gonna mute that noise. Okay. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to every one of you. Thank you for making it down on the Sunday call. We're very consistent. 11:30 p.m. every Sunday we have this call. And this is where we give macroeconomic updates on the crypto space. And not just updates on our platform, but also updates on the space as a whole. Okay, so myself, your host, Mrs. Lilac, with the founder of EasyTron, Nicholas D. Cruz. It's a fully audited smart contract platform that deals with Tron tokens. Okay, so those of you who are new here, this is what it is. And we talk about what's happening in the space, what's happening with the other altcoins. Tron is an altcoin. What's happening in DeFi and some of the other top market cap cryptocurrencies as well. So there has been something that has happened in Singapore, something really big that has happened, and I myself, as your host, has been caught in the middle of it. Okay, so I hate to say this, but I have just lost a huge chunk of my money on my crypto, and even legacy Bitcoin that I have bought in 2017. So this was pre-Coinbase IPO. Okay, so my first Bitcoin I ever bought was in 2017, and I ported it all over to a platform that gives an ROI. Okay, so this is this huge thing that's happening in Singapore right now. I know tons of other leaders on this space here, on this call. They're in it as well. So today we just want to talk about it and what's happening and what we can do moving forward. So I'm gonna have a discussion with Nicholas. Nicholas, if you're on, just turn on your camera so that everyone can see you.
Hi Lisa, how are you?
Hello.
You weren't feeling so well today. You feeling a little bit better now?
I'm down with food poisoning / stomach cramps, which is the worst thing that happened on Chinese New Year, because if you want to visit all your cousins, and that's not going to happen if you're stomach cramps. So it's like more shit on top of my shit, for lack of a better word, but just caught in a shitstorm. Sorry.
Well, really sorry your New Year has turned out this way. It started on such a wrong foot. But I'm almost certain it's going to get better. It's maybe out with the nonsense and in with the new. So maybe I understand some of you on this call have been maybe also new to EasyTron, and I'd like to welcome all of you. I of course want to welcome all the regular faces that I'm seeing. It's always lovely. Right at the top of my screen, I don't want to be distracted by too many icons, but I see Radha, I see Donovan and Lisa, I see Brian. I mean, it's really lovely to see you, and I'm seeing the Royal Team members starting to trickle on as well, and it's always nice to have them. Last week, I think they were busy at their large 300-person event, which was, I was looking at some of the after-event videos. It looks like they all know how to have a really good time. Honestly, I still don't see any COVID. I find it really amazing. This week, we're here to talk about um, an MLM business that has just uh, shuttered. Now, I say shuttered. That's my observation of things, and of course, some people feel differently. And it's really important that you hear from. Lisa is going to give you a first-hand information of what's happened or what is happening and how things stand and how it's impacting maybe her and the members that she might have brought in and the friends that she knows that are also part of this business. So it's good to actually hear, from her perspective, something that's happened so recently. And this is something that many of you have experienced over the years in this particular business, and I think today's topic is rather important. We should discuss this and how it does impact us, what we should be doing moving forward, and what we have to do to take care of ourselves. The business, generally, during the Sunday calls, I'll never really mention any other companies, but in today's instance, because it's a little bit more personal, we are going to talk specifically about what's happened to the networking company called Torque, Torque, and I think they launched sometime at the end of 2019, which puts them at about just over a year old. And nobody will know how much money has gone into the company. There is, I think someone mentioned that it could potentially be $300 million, but this was a company that built itself as a trading platform. So they took your money and they said they will trade it for you, and whatever profits they made, they would pay you. And of course, because they were paying a very small return, it was only, my guess is, I think it was 5% a month or something. People felt it was safer because it was a snail's pace in terms of earnings. People felt, well, it's fine that they can take care of my money. So what has happened? I think they claim that a trader had traded, made some bad calls and traded in either futures or in shorting. I'm not sure, but in any case, 90% of the funds have been lost. But maybe it'll be really good to hear from Lisa, because she has been, I think, really at the center of the storm, because she is based in Singapore, because she has walked into their office and has spoken to the founder or the CEO, and she has her own version of how things are from her perspective. So, Lisa, maybe share with everyone the journey in this past week and what's been happening.
Well, if I take you to the very beginning, so this company called Torque, it started in 2019, September 2019, and at the time there were tons of platforms that I put my money in. Not all of them not all of them survived. Actually, a lot of them failed. So Torque was one that actually stood the test of time. So consistently every month I would put my money in. There's this thing called DCA, dollar cost averaging, which is kind of put money in regardless of the price of cryptocurrency. And because all these other platforms kind of failed, I always thought, here's this company that I could trust. It's giving a consistent return. It's not as high, 5% a month. That's nothing in crypto. We're used to plans that give like 80 times, 90 times, and that's normal in crypto. So we thought, like, okay, here's this plan. 5% is not, so not, when you say, it's too good to be true, it probably is. Yeah, so it was not one of those things. So we thought, like, okay, here's this plan that's giving us a small return, so maybe the risk is lower. And then, more and more people get on board, and because there are people there are people you trust, then, you just kind of want to keep putting money in. Okay, so I visited their office in Singapore. It looked legit. You can see the CEO. You can Google his LinkedIn. It's there. they show. Oh, so one thing about mining farms. Okay, so there are companies in crypto that use a dummy set or a green screen to kind of show you that they're trading. And data centers and mining farms are one thing that's really hard to fake in crypto. Okay, it's really really hard. So what we got at the time as investors were live videos of their trading farm or the mining farm in Vietnam. Okay, so it's in Ho Chi Minh City. They have a whole facility, a compound, and it's just computers generating electricity and everything. So they had an actual mining farm there. We also got live videos of their trading offices in Vietnam. So and these videos were not planned. It was all like live, taken with a phone and everything. So we thought, okay, here's this one company that's actually legit. Okay, so more and more people, and there are leaders here on this call that actually put money in as well. And when you have people like your friends, people you trust, and you come in, it gives it reduces the unfamiliarity of it. Okay, so you have a community of people who are all doing it, and not just Singaporeans. People in Canada and New Zealand, Australia, US, everyone. Okay, and you
Lisa,
don't just put your
Lisa,
money in it. Yeah, you don't
if I
just put
can
your
ask you,
money in it. You
are
also
you
bring friends in. Yeah.
are you saying that you put your money in because of all the other people around you? Is that kind of what you're hinting at in a sense?
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes people only want to invest with people that they trust. So I was brought in by someone I knew. And like the same way I put my money in, I also want to bring friends in, as any other platform. Yeah.
So what happened to the company?
Okay,
From your understanding.
So on Thursday or Wednesday close to midnight, okay, so we received an email from the CEO, and he said, it comes with a heavy heart that we have to tell you that we discovered huge trading losses on one of our bots or one of our just huge trading losses, and we are going to stop all trades, and it's not something we've ever seen before, and we're experiencing this huge loss. Okay, so this is a day before Chinese New Year Eve. Okay, so it's big in Singapore. Okay, so first thing, the office is in Singapore. The trading office, mining farm is in Vietnam. So these are two countries that celebrate Chinese New Year. Tet in Vietnam and Chinese New Year in Singapore, obviously. So, immediately there's a lot of things that come to your head. Like, if you guys remember Cloud Token, like 3 years ago, the same thing happened just before Chinese New Year. So immediately you would think, okay, are these guys pulling an exit scam like just before Chinese New Year, when we know no one's going to be coming together, to pull a coordinated effort to, take these people down. Okay, so I managed to find 6 Singaporeans to come with me to the Torque office and, just confront the CEO. Like, what's happening, what's going on, where's our money? Because I don't just have my own money in it, I have my friends' money. So people come to me because they trust me. I say this is a really good platform, it's legitimate, I put my money in it, I think it's good for you as well because it can give you a good return. So I don't just have my own money in it, I have my reputation on the line. Yeah. So it wasn't a pleasant few days, I'll just say it. Like the past few days have not been pleasant. There's a lot of people in Torque, not just in Singapore, it is like global. Like there's a lot of people in the space.
So they claim they lost 90% of the money. Is that what they said?
Yeah. So we confronted the CEO. He broke down in tears. there's a lot of things that happen in that 3 hours sitting in the office. um, I always say you in times like this, you don't want to make an appointment and wait for things to happen. You have to go there and kick the door down and get your answers. So that's what happened. I personally, I felt like he wasn't out there to scam or cheat or run away from money. That has happened before. I've lost money before as well. But this time I felt like it was just really negligence on his part. So in business or in finance, you can always have risk, right? So this, I feel like it was business risk, like it was mismanagement, it was negligence. So what happened was, there is this CTO, okay, this chief technical officer, that kind of went missing. So he's the guy in Vietnam who is the head of the trading desk in Vietnam, and he switched from spot trading to futures trading. Okay, so anyone who is a trader, futures is a contract, is a derivative that's highly leveraged. Okay, it's not just buying your crypto on buy sell orders. You are placing highly leveraged trades with people's money. And we, as investors in Torque, we always felt like Torque is safe because you're only doing arbitrage trading and scalping. So if you're familiar with what arbitrage trading is, it's just making huge buy sell orders on an exchange, and you're just taking that little profit from those trades. So it's not leveraged. It's not futures. Okay, so when you switch to futures trading, there's a whole different ball game. Okay, so that's one thing. You're taking investors' money and you're gonna, do something else, and you're not telling the customer what you're doing. That's already just one wrong thing that he's done. Okay, the second thing is, as CEO, he should have set trading parameters, and put more safety measures to prevent something like this from happening. So if you guys are familiar with this Nick Leeson story, the derivatives trader from Barron's Bank, it's a very similar story. You're not supposed to be placing these trades with people's money. So there's a lot of speculation in the space, what he's doing with our money. There's a lot of people saying like, oh, he took the money and then he put it in his other company, and then maybe he used the funds and did something else, and they're just placing the blame on one person. And there's tons of things happening right now. Yeah, it's
What's the plan now? What do you want to do? What do the members want to do at this point?
Yeah, so I know there are some leaders here who are also in Torque, and we are all facing this huge loss together. So I try to stay positive, okay? And I know the crypto space is still a place to be in at this time, and there's so many other opportunities in the space. There are smart contracts, there are funds, Bitcoin funds being set up right now. If you guys know about Grayscale, GBTC, and tons of other opportunities. There are even people doing trading. So I know my friend here, Elizabeth, she does options trading on stocks, and Sam, he does spot trading on crypto. There's tons of things you can do. So this is a setback for us in the space. But I'm just happy. Like, I didn't take any loans. I didn't go into debt to make money from this platform. And I know there are some people who actually took up business loans to put money in Torque, and now they can't repay those loans. So that's worse. You're not just like negative, you're negative, and that's worse. I also practice diversification, so it just means you're not just putting all your money in one account or one space or one platform. You are kind of putting your money in different locations, different spots. So in case one thing dies, at least you have something else to play with. Yeah, it's just
with regards to Torque, you're just leaving it as it is and walking away. Is that the plan?
No. So I didn't want to sit and wait. I went to the office. I confronted the CEO. I gathered a group of 6 Singaporeans. There was one trader and one lawyer. So this guy, he was really good. He's going to represent us. We're still deciding the next course of action. We're not going to let Bernard go away scot-free. So yeah, even though he broke down in tears and started crying, and he was, negligent, and he said he had his own money in, his own company's money in the funds, that doesn't make it right. It doesn't mean he's gonna get away with it. So things we considered were making a police report, filing a case with the CAD. CAD is the Commercial Affairs Department in Singapore. So it's a white collar crime department with the police in Singapore. And Singapore is a no nonsense country. Okay, there's no such thing as bribing officers. It's quite a well set up police force. So we're still discussing the next course of action, and of course there's going to be a litigator involved. Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. Thanks for sharing. I'm really sorry for your loss, and I know how tough the current situation is. So, I wanted all of you to hear from Lisa to get an idea of what she was going through, and obviously what she's going through is what some of the other members are going through, and everyone has varying degrees of suffering, right? So as Lisa said, some people have taken loans. So if you take out a loan, whether it's $10,000, whether it's $100,000, you take out a loan based on your capacity to get that loan, and you assume that you've got to pay 10% annually for that money, right? Money these days it's a lot cheaper to get, obviously from banks. So you can always pick up a housing loan for 2%. You can take a personal loan for a 10, 11%, and all this used to be 24, 25%. So it's and the banks are quite happy to dish out cash, as you know, right? We are all flushed with cash all around the world. The problem here is that you think you're going to be getting 5% a month or 10% a month, and therefore you can handle a loan that is likely going to be 10% annually. And that's the thinking. But I think you should generally not. Can you mute? You should generally not be playing with money that isn't your own. I think that's I think a really primary lesson. And I know some people have put in deep savings. So you've got 100,000, you've got $500,000, you've got, I remember a platform where someone put in $6 million. We've got to realize that at the end of the day, the biggest company in the world right now is Apple, and I've shared this with you. Its valuation is now sitting at $2.4 trillion, right? It's a crazy number. But even Apple is making, on average, right, over the last 5 years, they make 20% a year. So when a company is trying to promise you 5% a month or 10% a month, you've got to realize it's actually not doable. Now, please understand, this is also a networking plan, which means they must place commissions on everything that they do. For you to bring members in, for you to make recommendations, commissions have to be paid. So businesses want you to put your money in, but they also want a crowd. They want you to go out there and sell to other people. And we end up doing what we're doing right now, right? Trying to sell to other people and talk about opportunities and so forth. But this is how it works. If you pay let's say 20%, let's take a big number. You take 20% a month. Over a 3-month period, you owe 60%. So for every million you take in, you owe $600,000. That's really what the company has to pay out. Over and above this, you will pay a comp plan to leaders. So a leader might take 10% for a referral fee, and then there may be multiple levels. So you might take 5%, 3%, 2%, 1% for multiple levels. Then you're paying that across 10 different levels. Over and above this, you have to be paying the biggest leaders, they take an extra incentive. So there are 2 types of incentives. The first is you take a a tiering. In other words, you get a certain rank, and that rank gives you an overall earning. So let's say the overall earning might be 1% of global earnings, and at the highest level, it could be 5%. And on top of that, you may incentivize a leader for a period of time, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, and you say, okay, we'll give you 5% of sales. When you add all of this up, you're now paying out in the comp plan 40%. So you collect 1 million, you pay $600,000 in commission, in what you call trading returns, and then you pay another 40%, which means $400,000 for leaders, which leaves the pocket immediately, because this commission that is paid for leaders happens instantly, right? Whether you send it out into the wallets or not, leaders tend to withdraw this. And then, of course, if they've got a stronger relationship with you, they may leave the money in. But generally, in 3 months, all money is gone. So the company has to keep growing the sales because they have to use new money to pay old money. So you assume if they make 1 million in the first quarter, they have to make 2 million in the second quarter, which means in the third quarter they've got to make at least 4, 5, or 6 million. This is the reality. Now what happens is, if they make 1 million, 2 million, 6 million, they can go on for the fourth quarter. But in the fourth quarter, if they only bring in 2 million, then what happens? They have to close, right? Carlos, how are you, Carlos? Now my dear friend Carlos here will, if I made him unmute, he would scold everybody on the on the call and say, don't be stupid, don't waste your money, and don't fall into these traps. The modus operandi for a company to close, because what happens is they don't collect enough and they can't pay, right? They have to pay all the old money. And so the usual excuses are somebody ran away with the money. Our system has been hacked. We've had a breach. We have, what's the other? Somebody has been arrested. A leader has been arrested, a shareholder has been arrested, and the company has been forced to shutter. So these are just generally, you can't really go beyond these different excuses. These are all they have left. For trading, they normally say it was a black swan event, right? So black swan event will say, we didn't anticipate Brexit, for example. I knew a company that launched, and then the Brexit happened, and then the pound collapsed, and they said a black swan event, and literally nearly 100% of the money was wiped out. In this instance of course, they say it's a trading error. Somebody was leveraging and so forth. Whatever the case is, if you give your money to someone else to manage, then that's the risk that you will face, even if it's with your bank, right? And banks have lost money as well, right? If you're a multimillionaire, generally what happens is they'll take 1 million, and then they may trade it. They may trade forex, they may trade different derivatives, options, whatever the case might be. So, but all of us need to trade. If where this company is concerned, one of the things I heard Lisa say, of course, was they've lost 90%, they have 10%. Maybe they can flip this 10% and recover some money. It would be awesome if that could happen, but generally, I don't think that's something you would count on. If they've taken 100% and they've lost 90%, it's quite unlikely they'll take 10% and make an additional magical 9,000%. So that's kind of unlikely that's going to happen. So I think I'm hoping she takes some action, because there's no point sitting around and waiting. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that when I talk to you, if we have opportunities, I would share it. But I want to make sure that I assess it, at least from my end. We've built a great relationship. We've had EasyTron do everything it's meant to do. It's been a great decentralized platform. As I said, look at Royal Team working, look at Lisa and Donovan working, and the various teams that are still at it. Carlos is still working hard, and I think he conducts lots of calls in Latin America, and all that's ongoing. None of it needs me, right? I've not taken your money, and I don't need to go and invest it somewhere. I don't need to go and play around with it and claim that I have to give you returns. I don't need to do any of those things. So you work for your own money and you build your own business accordingly, and that's, I think, an awesome plan that we have. But remember this: we are still in this bull run. My friend, they made $300 through $9,000 in 1.5 months. Proves that we can make some money, and there are real opportunities out there where we can participate. There are ICOs, there are genuine programs that actually do really give you good returns. My friend was also sharing this ICO. It was offered to him maybe about a month ago at 30 cents. And he didn't have the money to pick it up, and anyway, it listed, and today it is $17, 30 cents to $17. Remember, the opportunities are there. So maybe if there are such opportunities, maybe I'll try and find a way to collect it and bring it to you, and we can discuss this. But I think we should be looking at real stuff, real gains, proper investments that are regulated. And regulation at least means that you won't be cheated, that there's some governing body that ensures that they tick all the right boxes and they operate legally. I've been going on this tangent because obviously I feel the pain from Lisa, and I did have a few members who also rang me, who also suffered from this, and I feel with everything that is now surrounding us, the real genuine opportunities that are there, we shouldn't miss the boat. We should pay attention to what's happening. And I live in Singapore, and some of you are out in the US, and these two markets have phenomenal opportunities that are legal and that can really give you good gains. There were a few announcements over the past 2 weeks, right? Bank of New York Mellon, they've decided that they will be able to manage your crypto assets. They acknowledge that there is incredible client demand today. So, crypto has become legitimate. Tesla is the big news, and 1.5 billion in Bitcoin purchased by them, declared in their 2020 returns. There is talk about Apple and Microsoft and some of these big consumer companies now also getting sizable chunks of Bitcoin, and the market is big enough now for them to be interested. It's no more being traded by small little traders, and its market cap is not so small that they would laugh it off. MasterCard has said that they will now allow crypto on their platform. So this year, 2021, MasterCard's going to allow the payment of your shopping and your bills and the way we shop today with crypto. That is going to be enormous. You saw what PayPal did for this, when they offered acceptance last year. We've got Tyler Winklevoss, ex-Facebook, right, who now owns Gemini Exchange, right? And he said Bitcoin will hit $500,000. You've had Guggenheim the fund, the CIO, Chief Investment Officer, who said Bitcoin will reach $600,000. I work with a friend who owns an exchange. It's a rather big exchange, and he's very good at making the calls. He knows what the price is going to be for this month and next month and all that, because he sees the book orders. It's very different because they've got a better view. They've got a better bird's eye view than you and me. And he called 30,000 Bitcoin December. He's calling $400,000 for Bitcoin very likely at the end of this year. So, all the calls are in the same direction, and it's all looking robust. This reminds me a little bit of how we invest in Singapore. We've got a very good government, and this government is stable. We've had the same government since 1965. And I think I told you this before, right? They used to plan 20 years ahead, and then now they plan 40 years ahead. What they do is they say, these are all the things we're going to do. And then you can go to all their different town council offices, etc., and look at their master plans. And if you just invested based on their master plan, you will always make money. And so now we've got these calls saying the crypto market is looking really good. And I think we would be quite silly when Bitcoin was 10 cents and when Bitcoin was $30. And I don't know what Lisa paid in 2017 for her coin. But, now my brother put some money in Bitcoin maybe 2 weeks ago. It was about $34,000. I said, just put it in. It's now $49,000, right? He's happy as a camper. I mean, he's really enjoying it. Today, my brother-in-law said, "Oh, I think I'm going to buy some Bitcoin." I said, "Sure." He said, "Okay, here's, I know $50,000 wasn't not a large sum, but." He said, "Okay, I'm gonna watch the price. Maybe it'll go down over the week." I said, "What are you doing? What are you waiting for the price to go down for? Just put the money in, and if it goes down a little bit, so what? But now is the time. Now is the time for all of us." I've said many times, again and again, work the plan. We've got a great EasyTron plan. There's nothing wrong with it. Everybody gets paid. It works flawlessly, and it is a great way to earn crypto. Someone introduced a new member, and she was saying, "Oh no, it was 30 cents. Now it's 40 cents. It's gotten expensive. Should we do the business? Should we not do the business?" For God's sakes, do the business. Earn the Tron. It's and what did Tron? Tron hit 6.1 cents today. When we all started, it was hovering at 1.8. It was sometimes 2.1. It never moved. And then we looked anxiously while Bitcoin was heading to the moon, and we were sitting there twiddling our thumbs saying we should have done Ethereum. If only there was a Bitcoin contract we could do. But hey, Ethereum, went its merry way, and so did Bitcoin, and all of these big coins pull all these altcoins up. And now what's happened? We've enjoyed a 3x. We've enjoyed a 3x increase. Maybe it might even be 350%. So we've all earned. We've all had. We were in at the right time, and it remains the right time. We're in a good place. I wanted to really spend this time today to just remind everyone, take care of yourselves. We've got a good plan, so take care of the business. Take care of what you are doing. Be in control. Don't take your eye off the ball. And I will continue to try to bring and talk about opportunities, talk about what's going on in the market. I will try to be clear with everyone. And at the same time, I know that, EasyTron remains a purely hardcore, blue-collar working plan. And if you roll your sleeves up and you do the grunt work, it'll pay off.
Yes.
And I will continue to try my best to see if there's any way I can improve things. I will do my utmost, and I will be here on Sunday to walk everybody through all the opportunities. And I want to make sure that we keep the strong relationship. It isn't about a scam. It isn't about trying to walk away with your money. Um, None of that. I have no interest. In any case, as you know, all of you are working far down. Many of you can already see this for yourselves. You're not earning anything. This is a very fair plan. It pays 10 levels. And when business operates below the 10 levels, none of us are earning. Unless we decide to keep growing ourselves with our own direct. That opportunity never leaves us. So, with that, I want to thank everybody. I should wish you all a happy Valentine's Day. It's so nice that you're spending Valentine's here with me as well.
Happy
I
Valentine's.
I do want to send all of you my love and my gratitude as well. I wish everybody the best. I hope Lisa, you know, maybe with the team with you, try to take some firm action this week. But you're right. You should move on. Look at the next opportunity, and I wish you the best. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you again next week.
Thank you, Nicholas.